Greetings, I'm lost.
We're never going to start any of these without laughing our butts off. I am Scandal.
Do it.
And Noiples have been playing games together.
Oh my God. We've never seen her so high. Okay, so recently we ran into a hashtag on TikTok.
Yep.
That was men writing women.
Yep.
And it was literally this young individual just doing a green screen with a book behind them, showing the actual paragraph they're reading. And I don't even remember the name of the person in there. I think their name was like Nappy or something like that. And that's, the attractive woman. And she like walks up to someone and she's like, can I help with anything? It's like, no, you need to take a bath. And she's like, oh, I could tell she was sad. Her nipples were flat. And then it's like, and the next line is, but you can do this thing or that thing and it'll be real good. And then her nipples were slightly perky. Not rock hard, but a little more full and rounded.
Because
and
her
it literally
morality,
was. Yeah. I was gonna say, and they're literally like, my baby, she don't show her emotions on her face, but she can't hide it in her nipples. Her soft, protruding barometers. It was so bad. It was so bad. Anyway, so nipples, by the way.
Yes, and I'm trying. I wish I could.
You don't have to find it. It's fine. We can link to it later, perhaps if we remember. Anyway, it was just amazing. This person reading it and just being like, cannot believe that someone thinks that a woman's nipples describe her emotional state like a mood ring.
Which is exactly what the entire paragraph was about. But I've
never seen her.
So happy.
So happy. It just shows right under her blanket. She's so happy.
Right under Pig Bun, she's so happy.
Yep, it's
I've never seen her so happy. Because of you, it looks like she's more determined to recover from her illness.
This is so vague. Her illness.
Her illness.
Her illness. She doesn't have a chance to meet many new people. So glad she's met you. Not like she's thought you were funny or anything specific about you. She enjoys that you've been around. No reference to anything that's happened in the story. She told me about the chocolate or the garden or anything vague as possible. Her illness.
Order so you can self-insert.
That's what we promised each other. That she would fight harder because of me. Wait, is that what we promised each other? I'm not even sure. We're both gonna get out of here. I swear that we promised each other that. I mean, I swear to that's the promise. I mean, I swear that that's what's gonna happen. We're both getting out of here. But since you guys travel from hospital to hospital all the time, you're probably getting out of here anyway. So I am correct. She's getting out of here.
Yeah, you're right.
I swear to that.
That is terrifying.
Irma laughs at my determined enthusiasm, at my
I'm not kidding,
stalwart
guys.
positivity.
This is a great example of tone.
Of creeping horror. Of tone. It really is.
Really, so there's an exercise that we've talked about once or twice of, taking a sentence and basically putting the emphasis on different words, right? And it's a great exercise when you want to engage with basically what different, a single sentence can mean if you just change the emphasis.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm going, in this case, it's really interesting when you just sort of, just read it in the right mindset, and this is really awful.
And instead of going, Irma laughs, you go, Irma laughs. And there's a big difference vocally, depending on, emotionally and conveyance-wise, in how that happens. And I might not be the best person to exemplify it, but it can also be the Irma laughs. That's uplifting, that's helpful.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, so good.
Irma laughs?
Uh-huh.
Irma laughs.
But I like the one of just, Irma laughs. That's happening.
Whoa.
Okay. I don't. But this is kind of amazing, and I really am getting with just how stripped this is of any meaning or emotion.
It's also if you can't hear the music, it's not helping. The music here is this soft,
twiddling tink, tink, but it also, with the occasional really hard strike of the individual keys. Hold on, I'm going to adjust this. There's this experience of this really strong tinging strike occasionally that is actually indicative of horror music.
Yeah, this is scary.
Hold on. You hear that somewhere between the soft sense of things and this is sort of your setup for horror?
And being I'm innocent and I'm soft, but I really could dip pretty quickly, and that's sort of terrifying.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
so anyway, so we're both getting the read on this also with how bleak and empty this room is, and then the slight incongruities in the story, in the same way that you find someone to be a little bit odd, a little bit striking and different, really distinctive from the other characters in the story, sort of like, when one of the court shows up in the Arcana, and you're like, you are literally not human compared to the rest of these people, the courtiers. And then in here, it's just the whole tone is shifted. You suddenly have this imposing shadow of a person. You fixate real hard on how old and wrinkly and different she is from everything else you've encountered in the entire game, and you get this music, and she laughs. So, take that how you will.
And that will happen in due time. I can't wait.
Until we just leave.
Now, if you'll excuse me.
Realizes you have actually licked the plate clean out of your compulsion to eat these muffins. She just reaches over, takes the platter, completely empty from you. You still trying to lick at it, but around talking, and just leaves.
I'm going to go talk to Dr. Barton regarding her medication.
The only doctor in the entire hospital.
That's it. That's all there is.
I've eaten everyone else. He's working harder now. We've got her being this being, this powerful fae being, potentially, right? With her half-fae child that is sick from the experience of being half-fae, potentially, right? So that's Rena, okay? And then she keeps taking her from hospital to hospital to get them to fix her. You're the humans, fix her. The magic isn't fixing her. And then she treats them basically the way Crowley treats his houseplants, where she's like, do you see this one? And holds up a dead doctor impaled on her arm. This one did a bad job. You're not going to do a bad job, are you? And walked through the rest of the medical staff, and all of them, terror. We'll fix your child. And they're compelled via her power not to leave or quit their jobs, so they just have to stay there and try harder. And then she leaves the hospitals when they're essentially an empty husk of all of their former employees and patrons, because she's used them up and needs to take Rena somewhere new. And Rena has no connection to it.
At all, because, she's sick.
One of these days, I might just not write a horror. There we are. All right, so
it's fine.
Regarding her medication.
Will you stay here for a while? Rena might wake up at any moment.
Are you suggesting that she never wakes up alone? Ever? Or that she's not okay if she wakes up alone?
Oh, honey.
Ever? Does she need someone with her when she wakes up?
Oh, honey.
She just might be hungry when she wakes up.
We'll see.
When she goes into the frenzy, she doesn't remember what happens. Bless her.
Poor delicate soul.
Until she's completely united, one half and the other, she just really won't. Aye.
Sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't.
Sure. I'll just be here staring at the plate that doesn't have muffins anymore. You're so full, it's almost painful. Still wishing there were more muffins. Yeah, I'll be right here. Irma heads out. She takes the tray with her. Wish it had more muffins.
Yeah, like I mentioned, actually, I think off screen, is going, the level of, preoccupied detail is interesting.
Additionally, as soon as she leaves, the horror music quits.
Yep, mommy is scary.
Mommy is scary badass. I kind of love that. But again, if they put more character into their games, I wouldn't make this crap up. So maybe it's better this way, I would say. On the other hand, it's also really fun to engage with people's stories when there is a more complex story there. It'd be really interesting. Even if it's a false, realistic medical narrative, there is a higher chance, even if it's ridiculously overblown, of late stage menopause babies being born with more complications, usually just because people are less prepared for them, their bodies are less able and vibrant, and also just levels of genetic sorting for whatever reasons. Okay, they just you tend to have, if you have a really late menopause baby, they tend to be more likely to have some kind of a difference, and it's just a little bit higher percentage. So it's not a huge vast thing, but it's enough to notice medically.
Yes, well, and it's also though a thing that actually I think what was it, Adam ruins everything or something, that he actually ended up talking about that, going like, it's actually not nearly as high as people want to.
It's
like,
like
yeah, there's a chance.
1 or 2% higher.
Yeah, but it's like, you guys, you've blown it so much out of proportion in a level to like shame and control people. It's wild.
But if you wanted to just basically romanticize that tiny percentage in your game, which people are familiar with the trope of that thing, and then go, yeah, I had her when I was much older. I'd already retired. Now I'm working a couple of extra jobs along with my retirement pension to afford a sick child kind of thing in my, essentially retirement years. And that could be a really interesting story that you then don't have to do anything else with other than it just raises Rena to a more interesting point. Her mother literally exists to augment and make her more interesting, and actually does so by going, wow, your mom's basically like your grandma, and you might be sick because of an interesting genetic condition instead of whatever else mysterious illness, but we don't know. And then it plays into a familiar social trope that people know. It also makes mom less of a hollow throwaway, and it builds up the story. Anyway.
Yeah.
I take one long look at Rena. Just one, before I go for that fridge and see if there are more muffins in there. Because I'm gonna.
Again, weird,
Whoa.
particular, exacting detail.
She's dead asleep in bed, and then poof, standing in front of you instantly. Hey, mister! Whoa! I fall out of my wheelchair?
Somehow.
I
right over the sidearm.
I try to throw myself out because I go rigid in that way that when people get hit with like electricity, they just suddenly go rigid. I just bip out of the wheelchair like a bunny startled.
Nope, like a goat.
Oh God. Oh my God. Like
so
a
if you haven't,
stiff-legged startled goat.
Yeah, so if you haven't actually seen it, it's an interesting phenomenon where basically if you startle goats correctly, they will actually like literally go stiff as a board and fall over.
There is a level of this sort of paranoia stiffness.
It's fascinating. It's like a extreme muscle response. I can't remember exactly.
It is. It's basically it's an extreme muscle response that just stiffens everything in the body, and they bounce a little bit because everything tightens so quickly, and then there's no ability to balance, so they tip over.
Yeah, and it's fascinating.
I have never done this, and please don't scare your animals, but some people find it very interesting. For science, they have learned this about goats.
Yes, and some people have done it. Again, I'm just saying, like, it's interesting to watch. So I'm like, if you have someone who has a goat, please don't do it yourself, but it's one of those things, people have already done it. There is already film of it.
You can watch the videos.
Go watch the video. Like, it's kind of that thing where people are like, I want the pet. Go watch the video of the pet you can't take care of because they require a lot of care. Like if you have an exotic animal you want and you realize and you understand that exotic animals are called exotic for very specific reasons, let alone the fact that just having like a cat or a dog or fish or anything still requires a lot of care and you should take care of your animals. Go watch the videos instead of you doing it.
Right? There's a lot of, you can really get a lot of vicarious enjoyment, or visit someone who has a pet.
Yeah. And
enjoy their pet without all the responsibility and what I consider to be oftentimes burden of the pet.
Yes.
Now, we're not, again, saying people can't own pets, but there's often advice that I give to people of going, don't ever accept free pets, and don't ever accept just sudden pets. Plan for them if you want them. Like being a low-income person, when I grew up, there was a whole lot of, we suddenly have kittens, we suddenly have bunnies, we suddenly have puppies, we're just giving away babies. And it was like everybody ended up with surplus animals that they couldn't afford, and that they couldn't afford to take to the vets when they needed it. And so there was a lot of animals that basically lived fast and died hard, but without any of their own agency.
Yes, which is terrible.
And so it doesn't mean all of them live that way, but it is that thing of, find out what the pet really needs. Find out what a reasonable size cage, enclosure, and kind of care is. Find out what kind of cleaning, attention, and feeding they need. Because the whole
time investment.
Yeah, the whole little plastic hamster cage thing with a tube is not enough. Hamsters are complex rodents that have wide ranges out in, the wild, and they're burrowing animals, and they don't like to sleep where they pee, and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's actually really interesting and very extremely complex. So please, if you're ever going to get an animal, please do your research, and please be committed to taking care of them. They will literally be reliant on you
for all of
everything.
Their needs.
Really.
Most most pet ownership of small animals is like the ultimate isolation fantasy. They can't get their attention from anyone but you. They rely utterly on you for all of their psychological, emotional, and functional care in all ways.
So their physiological experience is literally you. Like, wow.
Hey,
mister!
Anyway, lots of opinions there. Be good to yourself. Also, if you have a support animal, just take care of you. Take care of them. Be awesome.
Yes.
All right? What? Literally. really does do this thing. She just appears out of bed, poof. Like, how hard would it have been to, like, say Rena wakes up and gets out of bed, even if you don't want to animate anything different, and then has her stand up, or then she's sitting, just describe, I don't know. Anyway, we scream and fall out of our wheelchair. You're awake?
Yes! I woke up the moment you came in.
I heard everything. Oh, right. I can't help but laugh in bitter irony. Why am I not surprised? I knew you were a nosy busybody. It was established at the beginning of your character introduction. God damn it, why didn't I think of that?
Was she established as a nosy busybody?
So, Louisa's running somewhere? We'd better go check it out.
Oh, shit, right, that thing. Yeah, okay. Which was super fucking weird.
She really is. Like, I'm poking around the hospital. I'm interested in people's stuff. We should check it out.
Yeah.
We should go see that. Like, we really did think that she was into gossip and she was into being in other people's business and nosing in.
Yeah.
So, yes?
Alright.
Character profiles are my bag.
No, it's fine. I just forgot.
That's okay.
But it makes total sense. But I'm also surprised sometimes, especially with, again, I don't mean to be mean to the person who wrote this, but part of me sometimes gets surprised of going like, I can't tell if you're writing a character or you're writing just a series of tropes or just ideas. Because that's why I'm like, really? That's a thing? Because it doesn't feel like it's a character experience. It just, like, again, mostly feels like I'm just writing because I'm writing.
So I'm going to say is I'm generally being generous because I want it to work. And part of me is having this sort of ultimate faith in writing that even if you're writing it really poorly and you're not thinking about it, you're ultimately going to make accidental connections whether you mean to or not. And for me, that one was just I can make this into a payoff. The first moment I read it, I was like, that seems like a non sequitur. We don't have her viewing a lot of like acting and thoughtful espionage and stuff like that. And I was like, wait, but they did give us the opportunity to say you're an established busybody who's interested in gossip and information that doesn't belong to you. So I'm going to make that into this payoff, even if that's not what they planned.
I really have to say, friend, it is a delight where you care this much about remembering this amount of bullshit. And I'm just like, it's bullshit. I'm sorry. I'm not exactly super tempted to want to remember a lot of this, which I suppose is kind of bad in terms of let's playing it and also trying to do critical analysis.
This is why we make a great team, because we both approach it very differently, and I love that. I love it. It's so good.
It's so good.
All
okay, here we go.
Why am I not surprised? So, you heard everything. Even, do you know where more muffins are? You heard about the muffins, right? Did you also hear about muffins?
What? No, Mr. Chocolate.
I'm still hungry.
Kind of.
I had my head buried in the pillow completely so Mom wouldn't know I was awake, with pig bun over my face and my nipples.
Why do you do this to me? Why? You all hear this? This is what I'm suffering under.
We both laugh.
Help.
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 Someone rescue Scandal from my bullshit.
Help.
We both laugh.
We both.
Should I do something now that she's awake?
Oh no!
Because talking and existing here and lying on the floor next to my wheelchair asking about muffins isn't doing anything.
How did
Should
I
try to get back into my wheelchair? I should do something. Rena, could you call the nurse to help me into my wheelchair?
Please?
It'd be really good.
I hurt.
I think the feeling that I am feeling and my inability to focus in the room again is pain. And I think that pain is probably not a good thing. And I just told your mom that I'd promised you that I was going to get better and get out of here. So maybe I should not be on the floor. Should I do something? Offer a muffin. How the fuck would we do that? Unless she really did give us the plate, because she didn't, canonically. She only offered it to us. Like, offered us a muffin. Like, she offered the plate at us. And then
Unless
we
it was
took
just,
a muffin.
she offered a muffin and then she put the tray down, is basically the implication then, potentially, is going, I had a tray of muffins, I offered you one, and then I just put it down.
There's no option. Should I do something now that she's awake? You have to do something according to these options.
Yeah, like
you either get to offer a muffin or a glass of water. I don't want to offer the muffins. Those are my fucking muffins. I'm going to offer a glass of water. So there. Do you want a glass of water? I say as I drag myself back into my wheelchair, forgetting about the nurse. I just put the brakes on. I've learned about those in a couple of days.
Again.
And I just drag myself up there and just clumsily prop my leg back in. It's fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
It's totally fine.
It's not floppy or anything.
I know. The cast supports it really well.
Perfect.
Beautifully.
Yes, please. Dr. Barton says that water is important every time I wake up.
He says that to you every time you wake up?
He's usually here.
You really never do wake up alone, do you?
When I wake up.
Your mom's really insistent. Like, even the doctor listens to her that someone needs to be here when you wake up.
It's either that or the spirits.
Or he's just always here, watching you while you're sleeping. So he's here when you wake up.
Yeah, he's always here.
How about I get you some water?
Thank you.
Do I know where your sink is? Do you have cups? Do you have one of those big plastic hospital cups they issue you?
Do you have bean Febreze juice?
Oh dear. All right. Well, I pour a glass of... She has a refrigerator and like a deep rock crystal drop water dispenser, 5-gallon water dispenser in her room.
Why not?
With the little disposable cups
Honestly,
in it.
I love that you went that far because I was just like, oh, she just has a pitcher of fucking water because she has the fridge.
That's that.
That would be so.
Oh my god, that'd be hilarious. A dispenser in the door of the fridge. This tiny little fridge with nonetheless a full-ass functioning water and ice dispenser. Since it wasn't on the picture, I believed it wasn't there.
Oh, well, they don't believe that those things are real. So if you guys don't know, we have a little side story sometimes where people are just like, I didn't realize that you really could get, like, ice and water out of fridges. I thought they were literally just made up.
For American TV.
Movies, movies and TV. And it's not. Like, that's real, my dudes.
It's real.
You really can just go get ice and water out of, like, that is a feature.
In a lot of countries where they drink warmer water, and that is still the tradition, and warm water is considered to be more healthy for you based on the history of their water and their culture and stuff, which it really is a thing. Ice water is very, very American and, as far as I understand, European. But, like, it is not, for like a thing nearly so much in, like, India or China or like Spain kind of thing. They're way more warm water culture.
Yeah.
And or other drinks. Anyway, it also could be one of those things if there's a water bottle like filler thingy. So sometimes next to the faucet on a sink, there's also a little spigot next to it.
Are we talking a Brita filter?
No. It's just like it's like another type of a spigot, but instead of turning it on, it's a little like taller, like candy cane shaped thing. Yeah. And you just can put a water bottle under it and then push the little switch.
Yeah, no,
I've seen those before.
I have too. I was just teasing because sometimes there's a little actually attachment head that you can put onto your faucet, and then you just turn them over there, and then it like goes through it and it filters automatically. So there's lots of different things that people have here in the U.S. It's
possible she could really just have a water dispenser in her room that is also built onto the sink, but it sounds hilarious to imagine that she has one of those little paper cup dispenser things and he just pushes the thing and fills it.
Really fun.
Anyway, we'll find out about the glass of water from the dispenser in the next one.
So, thank you very much, guys, then, for joining us. If you like what we do, please feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and also please feel free to share our videos if you're having a good time with us.
Yeah.
Please also feel free to go check out our Ko-Fi or Patreon. Got some links in the description down below. And I have been Scandal.
And I have been Lies.
And it was great playing with you.
Bye!